Hello guys, Thursday, 12 o'clock, Marcin here. Looking at my screens here, I think all engines go. I think we can roll. And if you're here for the first time, if that's your first session, I'm Marcin. I've been doing photography for the last 17 years successfully. And I'm here every Thursday sharing basically different components of what the business consists of. So I'm basically sharing everything that has worked for me. There's no one silver bullet to make this thing work. And I every week I pick on a topic from the basket and we discuss it here in detail to get you to money and checks and successful bookings earlier. So today I was actually the fun fact was actually that I was looking at what else was missing. For those of you that do know, the school community is now open, and what I was trying to do there is provide like a level for you guys to be able to start and monetize your businesses. So if you do have camera, if you do have photography skills, and you're basically trying to like monetize what is it that you have to go through, I basically put like two buckets into a school community. It's still a work in progress, but it's basically at the first level. Access is free. There's no paywall, nothing. So you just get in there, and what you're going to see in the first three buckets is like a high level overview. And then bucket one is essentially dedicated to like camera and editing. And the other one is like contracts, client interactions. And what do you have to do to get to money first, to be able to turn that hobby into income generating a hobby activity. So that's what I'm doing. And what was missing out of that bucket number two was the discussion about offers. Like how do you package your photography offers? Because you're not just selling pictures. And how do you present it to your client? What's important? Just things that I figured, like couple things that we need to highlight because they're super, super important. And I want you guys to be aware of like what kind of goes into it. This way, you present your options, your price, your payment options, and people pay. So that's what we're talking about today. And for those of you that are here for the second, third, 10th time, welcome back, guys. I really appreciate having you here. So I'm just going to dive right in. I actually have two things I wanted to show you today. Usually I run through like a slide deck, and then I also wanted to show you my actual like a pricing sheet that we used at one of the, I believe, expos. I want to say Orlando, maybe Jacksonville, but I just wanted to run this by you just to show you like, hey, what an example of something like this would look like. And that's it. So we're talking about an offer, and I will actually, before we jump in to talk about the subject, quick reminder for those of you that have heard before, but if you don't, if you go to, let me see if I can flash it on the screen here. You can scan the code if you're watching on YouTube, and this will get you to give you the link to the school community, the YouTube channel, and the Facebook group. This is basically so like when I go through the material and you have questions, maybe there's something that I'm explaining that's not connecting the dots, always leave me a question in comments, or you can ping me directly. There's also a direct DM link on Facebook. So just don't feel intimidated. Just reach out, send me a question. I can get back to you with an answer, because I look at it kind of sort of this way where it's like, when there's a kink in the hose, we have to make sure that it's removed so the water can flow. In this case, money can flow to your bank accounts. But that's really it. And if you are not scanning the code, you can access the school community here, proimageacademy.com/school, and I'll see you on the other side. Without hesitating any further, I'm gonna show you the slide deck first. I think I only have like 5 slides today that I wanted to run through, and this is not like a super deep dive, but enough so that you like have awareness of what you need to consider and what is that needs to go inside the package, and how do you need to format it? How do we need to name things? What do we need to consider as we're creating packages? because we have to think like our client, not like us. I know it's counterintuitive, but a lot of folks go out there and like create packages based on what they feel the client will need, but it's like it's not really about that. It's about the client, and sometimes you're going to be surprised. Client may care about different things than you do, and the client is the one with the wallet and the credit card. So we have to cater to the client and not fulfill our fantasies. So that's very important. And with that, I'll just start with slide number 1. Let's go through. I'll follow the slides, and then I will unpack the whole thing. So slide number 1: building irresistible photography offers. Master the art of packaging premium experiences the clients can't resist. Transform how you present your work from simple service to unforgettable investment. And I will say the same thing that I said earlier. I'm not sure if you caught it, but it's just like, it's not just what you do that you sell. It's really the package that you sell. It's all about perceived value. It's a very important word, perceived value, right? Because a lot of times, sometimes we're looking at like different photographers, and it's like one photographer may offer something for $2,000, so one other photographer may offer the same package or something that seems like the same package for $22,000. And and we're always curious, like, how different could it be? Like, how much better is it? So yeah, of course, quality is there, but other things go into this. Perceived value is number one. So and I'll give you an example of like, what is perceived value. So let's say you're in a market for a photographer and you're willing to pay, let's say, that your friends pay for their wedding photographer about $5,000, right? And then you come across a photographer that charges $600. Without knowing the quality, just hearing the price, what comes to your mind, right? Like the 5,000 photographers, like, has to be better. But you don't know. Maybe there is a photographer that's super talented, very artistic, but he's just starting out, right? So it's about this perceived value. Like when you present a package, when you have the right name, all of this together, it's not just like this photographer and this photographer gives you photos. They also give you the experience, right? They also give you like the sense of security and like the sense of comfort, and maybe they make it super convenient for you with what's included in the package. So I always say it's all about perceived value and the experience that you get. And that's very important to remember, because it's a lot of photographers make a mistake also, where they would meet with a client and talk about like equipment or paper quality, or like, clients don't care. Like, they care about the how convenient is it going to be. Are you going to be successful in getting them to the outcome? They want to know if you have done this before, or at least if you have a plan on like what you're going to do and execute on the day off. So this is exactly what goes into our offer. But slide 1 is really not giving us a good explanation here. So let's just go to slide number 2. What is an offer? So when we talk about, like, photographers usually say package, and it's fair. In business world, generally it's called an offer, but it's an equivalent term, right? So an offer, it's not just what you do. It's not just your photos. It's not just the day off and the hours. A lot of times we get that question. An offer is how your service is packaged, perceived, and experienced by your clients. There's a formula. Actually, I think first time I heard about it was maybe Hormozy's. I think Alex Hormozy expanded it. But originally I think it was a dream outcome, perceived likelihood, and maybe time. So I think Alex modified it a little bit, but the formula is really like, you're providing your client with the value, right? They get something from you in exchange for it. They give you the money and they get something back. If it's a tangible product, when they buy a car or apples, they get the apples back or the car back or whatever whatever it is. In your case, you're packaging the service with the product and everything else, and then you're giving them a tally. It's technically called a stack, because there's a bunch of items listed in the stack, and it's really that value that they're receiving in exchange for monetary exchange. They pay you, they get the value back. So what goes into this value? What goes into the offer and the package? So just high level, what I need to say here is that there's 4 things that go into your offer, your package. So number 1 is dream outcome. I'll get into like the details and what each one of those stands for. But 1 is the dream outcome. Think of it as like an equation. At the top, you have dream outcome and perceived likelihood of achievement. Again, I'll talk about details later. And on the bottom, in the denominator, is the time delay and effort and sacrifice. And I'll cover those. You're not selling a photo shoot. You're not selling an image. Everything, although the 4 things that I just mentioned go into your offer. You're selling confidence, legacy, transformation. That's a big word. So what client is buying is basically, it's just a couple that's showing up. They want to look like models in your photos. And that transformation that happens, you taking them, regular individuals, and handing them back this transformation where the images look like they're supermodels. This is what we're talking about here. And captured forever in timeless images. So it's just quality images in the end. It's not something they can do on their own, on their phones, or using a family member. So that's exactly what goes into our offers. So let's go into slide number 3. And I said I will be talking about like dissecting it and just kind of giving you the details, the breakdown of that equation. So as you remember, we had 4 things in there. Number 1, identify the dream outcome. Number 2, build perceived likelihood of getting what was promised. Number 3 is minimize time delay. So like how long is it going to take? And the shorter the time, the better. So you may even have 2 photographers offering the same product, the same outcome, but one will say, hey, I will provide your photos in 1 month, and one will say in 10 months. And the one with 1 month will win, even though the product is the same and everything stays the same. Quantity of photos, everything, service, number of hours stays the same. The one that will give you the pictures earlier will win, just because it's a big factor for clients. Like they want to get there as soon as possible. Think, in terms of like Amazon. Amazon works. We all love it just because it, stuff shows up at the doorstep, usually the next day, or sometimes even the same day. It's absolutely mind-blowing. But it's one of the things that clients really care about. And then reduce effort and sacrifice. We'll dig into that one. So let's just dissect them one by one. I'm going to go back to identifying the dream outcome. And this one is what does your client really want? It's not just photos. It's how they want to feel confident, seen, remembered. That's the true transformation you're selling. So I already mentioned that transformation. Usually you have clients coming in, they have seen photos, either yours or somebody else's, and they're looking for this transformation, and they're asking like, hey, what are the chances that you're actually going to deliver this, right? This dream outcome. They want to see usually some sort of a proof, and it doesn't have to be like, I'll use wedding as an example, or corporate photography, let's say, or headshots. When clients are coming in, this is for those of you that are like starting out, and you're probably wondering like, what can I do? Because I don't really have a portfolio. I've never done a corporate shoot before. I've never done a wedding before, or I've never done a family session before. It's enough if you simply show a client. Obviously, at the very beginning, you're going to be charging less just to start. And then what you need is a portfolio of images, right? So I always say, don't take pictures of your dog and try to sell your corporate clients based on those images, unless you're trying to be a dog photographer. Then it's a different story. But usually, if you, let's say, you have somebody within proximity in your environment that's looking, maybe a business owner, maybe a friend that owns a business, maybe at your current job if you're doing this part-time, somebody's looking for portraits. They don't have to actually see the another corporate client doing this, but like for business owners, it's enough if you show them portraits of like your family members, right? So it's always good to start like with a small event and then just kind of as a practice, and then you can use collection of those images of just people, because you're in photographing people business, you can use those to show to like your corporate client, or for a wedding client. I remember when I started with my first wedding, I had the same dilemma, like, what am I gonna show them? And basically, if you think about it, if you kind of like dissect it down, when you're doing your first wedding, it's really a combination of like different types of photography. So it's product when you're doing the rings or dress, and then when you do portraits, it's really just regular portraits of people, right? And then when you're at the party, the reception, if you show them like an event that you went to, whether it was like a public event or your small event, maybe like a birthday party in a family or a birthday party of a friend, they can kind of relate. So what they have to see is not necessarily when you're starting a first wedding. It would be great if you could, but if you simply have a collection of photos that represent like a product, and then some portraits, and then some party, like you'll definitely be able to sell your first clients on that. And I know because I have done it and people had no problem. I just had to explain that I'm starting, the price is lower just because of this, but here's my collection of photos, and that's what I did. But what I also did was, and there's actually a video on the YouTube channel, again, if you're interested. Can I? I'll do it later. But on YouTube channel, I think I have one video that's really popular where I talk about second shooting, because it's sort of like a secret weapon, right? Because you can join forces with another photographer, and there's really no risk. Like no pressure, nothing. You're just there with a camera. Photographer usually asks you for like just a copy of images at the end. And depending on who you're working with, they may be okay with sharing some of the images for you to share some of the images where you show your future clients, maybe not on your website immediately day one, but at least you can show during the meeting, like, hey, listen, I have shot with this photographer. Maybe you're not going to be showing the images publicly, but to get the first, second, third, fourth client, you can use those images when you second shot with another photographer, and that's totally okay. And that's an immediate proof that you're going to do it. So they just need to see that, you have done some sort of photography. But I got to tell you, even with when I did my corporate photography, and never did for corporate photography before, it was enough if when I simply had an outline, a timeline of what I was planning on executing, and I walked the client through it. I showed the client some portrait photos just of people, random, some seniors, some family stuff, and I was shooting with a office. I think it was just a few lawyers. It was a local office. Then after that, I did some portraits at a local church. And that was enough just to get going. And once you get you only need one yes, right? And then the snowball just kind of gets bigger and bigger. So that's what it is. You have to show them some sort of a proof, evidence that you have done photography before, or at least have a plan and you know what you will do on the day of the shoot. So number 2 is, let's go back to the slide, is the build perceived likelihood. So the outcome is really like, what do they want? The confidence, they want to they want to be heard and remembered. So the second one kind of goes hand in hand. This one is when you can use testimonials or social proof. Again, if you have taken pictures of somebody else. This one says, trust is everything. Use testimonials, portfolio highlights, case studies, and crystal clear communication to prove you'll deliver exactly what they're dreaming of. So you can see like the dream outcome, them believing you that they're going to go through this transformation. They're going to end up with some photos. And then you can use testimonials. If you have reviews, that would be great from somebody. Maybe you did some photos in the past. They will use that combination to like understand that, like, yep, like it seems like he has done it before, and there is enough evidence and proof that he's going to get us there, right? Or she will get us there. So those are the two that you're trying to maximize. Like the top 2, you're trying to always increase. Now on the bottom, because I said it's denominator, we have 2 things that you're going to try to decrease on the other hand, right? So the 2 that are going on the bottom is the minimize time delay. Everybody wants to get there as quick as possible, and I'll tell you a little trick here. But this one is how quickly will they see results? Fast turnaround times, sneak peeks within 48 hours, or immediate planning sessions all reduce the waiting anxiety. So this one is not, people think that it's like you have to deliver final photos, and you don't. All the clients are looking is basically some sort of a sneak peek. You know how, you probably were in situations, not, probably not once, where you're taking photos of somebody, even with your like phone, and immediately they have a need of like kind of peeking behind, and seeing like, hey, let me see. It's a natural behavior. And same thing here. You're not trying, this is not the ask of like, well, we need the photos tomorrow. This is more of like providing a teaser and keeping customer in the loop, keeping your client, your couple or your corporate client in the loop of what's going on. So this time delay is not necessarily to like from the shoot to delivery. It's really the time where to your next communication, right? In your sequence. I actually did an episode, I think we did it last week, when I talked about like emailing client. And what happens is, you increase the frequency of like how many times you reach out to the client. They know you're in touch. They know things are in motion. So it's not necessarily when am I going to get my photos. It's just like, hey, what's happening next? What's happening next? So it's just notifying them. It's almost like this thing where when you guys think of like Uber or Amazon, you know how you get the delivery notifications to kind of show you like, oh, order has been received, order is being processed, order is being shipped, order is on the way, order is on a truck, right? Uber, the same thing. That's why they won the market with the taxi drivers, because when you called the taxi cab, there was really no feedback. You called and then you just waited, usually forever, and usually there was nobody to call, or if you were able to reach somebody, they didn't know what was going on with the cab, right? So it was this big unknown. And like what Uber changed in this game was that you could just open the app and see. And even if the wait time was the same, it didn't really matter. It just mattered that you knew what was happening with your product, with the value, like where was it at any given time. And this is again about feeling comfortable and knowing exactly what's going on. So this one, the time delay, you're always trying to minimize to make sure that like client is in the know, they know what's going on, and they, and then you just try to deliver, as soon as possible, obviously. But like I said, it's about keeping them in a loop, not necessarily promising something that you can't do. And then the fourth one that's also on the bottom, this one is another one that we also try to keep to a minimum, is the reduce effort and sacrifice. Make the experience frictionless, handle styling guidance, location scouting, and scheduling. The less work for them, the higher your value becomes. So this one is the styling guidance, location, scheduling. Let me talk about that one a little bit. So when somebody's hiring you, they really don't want to do any work. Imagine, when you're hiring a painter, right, to paint your house or apartment. Like you want them to show up and do all the work, right? Preparation, move the furniture and whatever. And like when you're hiring somebody like that, let's say, whether it's a painter or car mechanic, you're not expected to do half of the work, right? So it's all about convenience. And in this case, with the like styling guidance, I basically just make sure that the client is in a know. So like when we're getting, again, back to that video that we did last week with emails, one of the emails is basically helping client understand what's going to happen with the timeline, or what kind of wardrobe they need to wear on a day off. So it's very important to do this work. Also, any sort of timeline scheduling and like figuring out what's going to happen on a day off. With my wedding clients, for example, I probably like a month before the wedding, I send out like an online form. I put together a quick timeline, and then I usually give a bride quick call, and I say, hey, here is how I see the day unveil. Is that good? Are there any problems? And like just that one thing alone is a huge deal, because it's just a sign of relief. Like very often I have the clients like, oh my God, thank you for handling this because we're going 150 miles an hour. I have so many things that I need to take care of, and like having this in front of me and just like giving you my sort of last approval, it's super super helpful. So and the same thing with like location scouting. Actually, with time you get better and you know what to anticipate, and you get better with like utilizing different locations. You'll know what lighting to use. But like at the very beginning, I highly recommend, if you have never been at a location, you're not sure, you can always go there. Like people have when they have ceremonies at like churches or like reception locations, you can actually go and just check them out the day before or the weekend before or whatever. So if there's any work up front that you can do, you don't have to. It's not mandatory, obviously. But like even knowing the locations, when you talk to the bride, let's say you have a client coming in for the first time, and they feel kind of iffy, and imagine they're coming to the meeting and you're like, yeah, so you guys, because you do ask beforehand, before they come in, you ask them a bunch of questions, and before they sit down, and then when they do it, you can already tell them like, oh yeah, that location, I've been there. I'm sure we can shoot at least in 3 locations there because I know the location. Like just automatically by you saying this, it's enough evidence that like and you care and you know what's going on, and like you kind of have it all planned out. Like that's what clients want to hear. So and then scheduling, I already mentioned. So the less work for them, like the slide says, the higher your value becomes. So that's really, those are the 4 things. Remember, the outcome, which is like the actual product. Can he do the product that we're anticipating? Yes. Likelihood, are there testimonials? Did he or she did it before? That's the second one. Those are the top ones. We're always trying to increase them. And on the bottom, minimize time delay. Try to keep the delivery or keep them in the loop, and so they know what's going on with time, so they don't have to wait for a long time without knowing where you are. And then the reduce effort and sacrifice. The less work that they have to do, the better for you. A higher likelihood of the client purchasing. So now we're going to switch over to the next slide. And the very important thing here is like, so now all those 4 things are incorporated. I will be sharing the example of a package that we have offered recently. And the one thing we have to remember is naming. It's super, super important. So, and I will show you how we sort of convert the naming, like when we're advertising on a landing page for our client. So, but I'm just going to go through the slide quickly. Name your offer like a product, even though it's all service, pretty much. Names create identity. They sound really fancy. So they transform intangible services into memorable experiences. Like I said, you're producing this stack of value, little stack of different products, whether it's like album and the time that you're putting in, and maybe you are working with a second photographer, like that's the stack I'm talking about. So they transform intangible services into memorable experiences clients can visualize and desire. Generic naming leaves money on the table. Strategic naming positions you as a premium and professional. Name every component of your process. Clients don't want 2 calls. They want the planning blueprint call and the gallery reveal call. So it's very important, as you guys can see. And this is, I just included an example for you. So like generic offer, would be like 3-hour session plus 30 photos, right? Super generic. You can rename that into like the signature brand experience just on its own. Clients will still ask about but what's inside, what's part of it. That's totally okay. But it's this perceived value that they are receiving. And then legacy positioning, the heritage portrait collection. So now you're not only turning it into a tangible product from the signature brand, right? But you're saying heritage portrait collection. Like think about it. It's almost like, wow, I'm leaving legacy for my family, like with this album. So people automatically portray this as a super valuable product, and value goes through the roof. But what I wanted to show you here is, let me see if it's here, or yeah, it's here, where I can share. Let's see if I can pull it up. I wanted to show you guys this, and this is example of an offer that we had in one of the shows here. And let me set myself up here. And here you can see that it was a bridal expo, and we said if the regular price of the offer was $5,100, so $5K, and we gave him an incentive to say book before October 1st, 2024. So that was just to introduce like scarcity and urgency. That this is what's moving people. We'll talk about it in a second here. But we gave him an incentive because we said, hey, the more people book earlier, more money coming in, more cash flow, more money that we can spend on future advertising to bring in more clients. So however you want to handle it, you don't have to discount anything. You don't have to introduce dates. We do, just because we know that dates, when you have something like this in place, it pushes people forward. And also $299 album special if you book within 2 weeks. That's just another thing. The price is already included in our services anyway, but for the expo, we just kind of extract it, pull it out, and say, because the typical package, the normal package that we advertise to clients that come through the website would be $5,400, right? That includes the album. But here we took it apart and said, hey, it's $5,100 and $299 for the album, which is already included anyway. But if they book within 2 weeks, again, urgency, scarcity, they get the album, which they would normally get if they came through the website. So it's just the design of the offer for this particular expo. And I just wanted to show you like the simplistic way, and then how we convert it to like different names. Obviously, we use like ChatGPT or Grok or whatever you want to use. But I have it side by side, and I hope you guys can see it here. But like I basically have, there's 9 items here listed on this sheet, and then I have the equivalent over to the right. Actually, hold on, over to the right. So and let's go through it. So free consultation. Obviously, everybody knows what free consultation is. But to the right, now we're looking here at the top of the list, and I have 3 options, so you can choose whatever sounds right for you. But you can have a vision discovery session, or personalized photography planning call, or your story unveiling chat. And then you can just massage it and figure out what works best for you guys. And then the second option, 12-hour coverage. Here on the right, we have full day memory capture, all day event chronicle package, sunrise to sunset photo journey. Our packages are 12 hours just because we are committing usually to a day, unless it's like a really half a day gig. But normally 12 hours, it's a full day. And it sounds so much better like when you say sunrise to sunset or all day or full day, rather than giving them the time, because then they start calculating. But we know that 12 hours is plenty of time, and we usually don't even work that long. The client knows that, we show up in the morning, we don't want any extra stress, so we just do the preparation, and then by 10:30 we're usually out of the reception. Sometimes 11, rarely though, depending on a wedding too. Some weddings can stretch, but that's why we have the 12 hour. But in the naming, you want to say it's an all day, but we do explain to a client that it's a 12 hour, right? So the next one is 2 photographers. And this option here is dual artist team, 2 photographer dynamic duo, pair of visual storytellers. So you can see how we were like massaging it with words. Minimum of 600 images, 600 plus image treasure trove on USB, or keepsake USB with 600 plus moments, or your photo archive on personalized drive, password protected online gallery, secure online photo showcase, private client viewing portal, your personal image gallery with secure access. Again, you can tell in the naming, it's all about perceived value. Can't say it enough times. The next one is same day edit. And here we have same day edit slideshow on the 27-inch Mac. And the names for that, we have reception day highlight reel, instant celebration slideshow, same day memory showcase on the big screen. Again, it matters how you name it. And then we have online quick preview, 48 hours. So online quick preview, 48 hours. We're here towards the bottom. Option number 1, 48-hour sneak peek gallery. A quick view digital preview in 48 hours. Next day, highlights online teaser. Clients want to know that they're going to see anything, right? And it's good for you too, because if you do, we actually combine the day off slideshow with the teaser. Super nice, because not only the guests see it, it's a marketing tool at the event, but also they see it the next day. Same thing with corporate clients. When we do it, we usually have it on the laptop. They can look. They have the sneak peek. We just want to make sure that by the time we leave, they're happy, so there's no like surprises. You're there anyway. Everything is set up. If they don't like something, you can put them back in the same spot. Just reshoot, right? So with like corporate clients or senior portraits or family portraits. So it's just something to remember. And then I have highlight reel delivered digitally on USB, best moments highlight collection in multiple formats, or signature highlight on both web and USB. And the last one is album options. We just say album options available at a discount rate if you book within 2 weeks. And then we say regular price $1,100. This is just to anchor clients to say this is what you would normally pay, but it's $299 when you book now. This increases, again, scarcity, urgency, and people seeing that like $1,100, but I can get it for $300 if I book within 2 weeks. They usually reach out and book, because it's all about like, the fear of missing out, right? It's very important psychological aspect of selling, and it works like a charm. So I think we're good with the package. Again, if you guys do have questions, if there's anything, comments, I'm just gonna scan quickly here the channel, both on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you guys are all set. And QR code, if you're watching there, scan. You can get in touch with me. You can access school. You can access YouTube. You can access Facebook community. So that's always helpful. And now we are we did the naming of the product, and now we have to talk about, I already kind of kept sprinkling the terms urgency as scarcity, but let's talk about seasonality of your product. So a lot of times, you guys probably in the mail have received, I don't know, I'm just going to pick randomly. So let's say Macy's catalog, right? Everybody should know the name, but pick any store any brand that's close to you. And let's say, Macy's would send out a catalog, and it's usually like, if you think of like a, calendar year, they have a New Year, whatever, 2026 Macy's catalog. Then they're going to have something for Valentine's. Then they're going to have something for Easter. Then they're going to have something for, 4th of July. Then they're going to have, there's like one for President's Day, one for Labor Day, one for whatever day. Then there's Christmas. Then there's end of the year. Then there's Black Friday. Are those catalogs any different? Obviously not, right? It's the same stuff. I mean, some things change, but it's the same offer, just rebranded. People need to have a purpose of why they're buying. So when you're advertising online, your offer for your clients, over time you're going to be building your email list. You want to reach out and you want to say, hey, this is, we're running a discount because of Easter. We're running a discount because of Labor Day. We're running a discount because of my birthday. So you can see how you guys can kind of work with it, but urgency and scarcity are important, because people know that they have limited amount of time to decide. So even if they're on the fence, that usually, people on the fence usually pushes them over to a yes. So what do we have on this slide? People move when they feel the now, right? Like, I have to act now because the time is running out. Strategic scarcity and seasonality transform hesitation into action. So whenever you're sending out information about packages or showing your clients, or like we did the expo, like you have 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month. But let's talk about the different ways of doing it. So seasonal positioning, like I said, holiday portrait minis available November only, right? Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's and then new year, new you, right? In 2026. And then you have spring brand refresh sessions. You get the point. Second one is limited availability. You can say, hey, not only it's holiday portraits, but I have only 5 spots left for this month or for those sessions. Or maybe we're only doing 10 mini sessions. Does that mean you have to do 10? No, you can do 20. But it again pushes people over the fence to be like, okay, I got to make sure I reach out because it's 10 and it just went live. So that helps with them taking action. Then I say next opening is 6 weeks. Sometimes, depending on what it is, if you're really running something special, even if it's like a Thanksgiving thing, and you say, hey, we're only doing 10 sessions, you're not gonna get them, or like Christmas one, you're not gonna get them until next year. People have this like, oh my God, there's 10 spots, plus we can't really do it for another year, and that usually again pushes them forward. So great thing to know. When you're naming your packages, always included in the name so that it pushes people forward. Time-sensitive bonuses, book by Friday, complimentary styling consultation included, so you can include those bonuses. Bonuses are a big deal. So like sometimes when you're structuring a package, and let's say like in the package I was presenting, you guys saw the same-day edit. Like we include same-day edit with every package, pretty much, for like weddings. But we may actually extract this piece and say, or like the next day preview teaser, and because it's something that we know the clients desire, we pull it out. We still sell the same package, and we say, but if you book this week, you will also get 2 bonuses, right? You'll get let's say the same day edit. You'll get the next day teaser, and what were those commercials on TV? And that's not it. Or wait, there is more, right? And you say, hey, and I will also include maybe 2 extra USB drives for your parents, maybe, right? So it's like, and then clients go, they're almost sold, they're on the fence, they almost want to say yes, but if you then throw bonuses like, hey guys, if you really want to do it this week, we have the special going on, and we're going to include this, and they usually say yes. So time-sensitive bonuses. So this was about bonuses, and then timely themes. 2025 brand elevation package, new year, new image collection. I kind of mentioned that already, but like for corporate clients, we do like 2026 new brand, new image, right? So and business owners are usually into like rebranding, improving their brand constantly, right? So it's something that definitely helps. Scarcity makes your offer feel premium and creates natural decision-making momentum. When something feels exclusive and time-sensitive, perceived value skyrockets because it's like, I can't miss out on this deal, right? I mean, how often were you in a store and it's like a whatever Christmas sale and it ends Friday? People usually buy. I know my wife does. Hopefully she's not watching this, but you get the point. So that's what's happening here. And then on the next screen, eliminate risk with strategic guarantees. So that's just another, like you guys can see when we're like trying to increase the value of the package and then kind of decrease like the fear of what's going to happen. Like is it are we going to like pay him and he's not going to show up? So it's something to remember that we can always include guarantees. And guarantees is almost like bonuses. You have your package. Out of the package, you can take a couple items and include it as bonuses for them to sign quicker. But if that's not enough, you can also include your guarantees. And guarantees are just another layer on top of this to be like, guys, if you're concerned about this, like, let me talk about like the guarantees that we have. And when you hit guarantees, you can say, let's say you offered as a bonus like free engagement session, which again you can take out from your regular package and charge the same amount of money. But you may say, hey, we're gonna shoot on this date, but you also have a guarantee. If you guys, let's say we hit this date and it's raining, you have a guarantee that we're gonna reschedule. There's no cost. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stress. And this way, you have the experience of us working together before the wedding. So on the wedding day, you'll totally feel super confident, and there's no stress. And like clients immediately are, it's a huge relief, and they usually buy in. So reshoot protection, free reshoot if you hit bad weather. The next one is payment flexibility. Everybody's afraid to like give you money up front, especially if maybe you don't have a lot of experience, or you don't have a huge portfolio. So folks usually, we do it, we still do it, where we charge half of the money up front. I know a lot of photographers would like to charge, all the money like on the wedding day. We do a split. I don't get into a lot of payments, but for us, it was primarily the first part was before, and then another chunk after. So client knew that it's like, okay, they're committing with money. It had to be significant retainer, because we also don't want to lose the client. So don't charge 100, $200 because they can easily step away from it. If you're at the beginning of your journey, $500 at least. If you're charging over $2,000, or thinking about charging $2,000, it should be $1,000 down. And at that point, you know that the client is committed, right? If you're charging $5K, you can split it up 25 and 25, or 2,000 and 3,000, however you guys want to do it. And then for me personally, I got to tell you, like after a while, I know it's like about money and making sure that you do get paid for the services that you provide, but it's also like an incentive for you. So like it moves you forward too, because in the business, like you're moving to an edit, and now it's like, okay, the emotions are down a little bit, like you're after the thing, now you have to sit down and do it, but like you have the incentive of knowing you're going to get paid after. So it's a personal choice. You guys can figure out what works for you. I'm just sharing what has worked for me. So payment flexibility, interest-free installment options, spread the investment over time, before and after. I think we had few clients that paid over time. That was just their preference. We didn't really care. I just set them up on the monthly installment, and they actually booked us 2 years and like 3 months prior to their wedding date, and they just wanted to have ability to like do payments, so they don't have to worry about it, at the time of the wedding. And in that particular case, I think what we did was we actually charged all the money like upfront before the wedding. So on a wedding day, when we did show up to do it, everything was 100% paid for. Client's decision. We were fine with it. So it's just, you have flexibility, but it's like a guarantee with the first and the second payment that you're not just going to disappear, right? There's money to be paid. And the first date offer, try mini session, apply 100 towards full package if you upgrade within 30 days. So sometimes we do like a mini session. Let's say, somebody wants to book you for like a huge family shootout or something, or maybe you're talking to like a local organization. I know we did it with one of the churches where they wanted to hire us for a season, but they wanted to like see a preview of work. So we actually scheduled like mini sessions with them, just so they could see the preview, kind of almost getting a taste of what they're going to have in the end. And we did that, and we said, hey, we're going to do those mini sessions. It's going to be like, I think we did like 3 Mondays in a row. And we said, this will cost, let's say, $800, which was a fraction of what the contract later on was for. But we said, hey, this way, you're not really risking much. We're going to do those sessions with those individuals. And if everything works out, we will take this balance and apply it towards your big package, so you're not losing. It's just going to be part of the thing. And same with weddings, with clients, engagements, like, it's an easy sell, because you can say if somebody's really on a fence and like they really want to book you, but they're scared, or you can always offer them, an engagement session, and just say, just extract it from the package. Again, you can do the engagement session and get the client on board. On the same token, if you're doing this, if you're, kind of early in the process, you can also do an engagement session for free. A lot of people do that. At this point, I wouldn't commit to do a free one. But like, why not? If this is your first wedding, somebody's like kind of thinking about hiring you. It's like, hey guys, let's just meet up for an hour, take some photos. You'll see how, the session will feel. I'll deliver the photos. And if like, and then you can decide. So it's entirely up to you. but you can definitely charge 350 bucks. And like worst case, even if they say no, hey, you end up with 350 bucks, right? So, so those are the sort of like guarantee that you can consider when you're constructing your packages. So with that being in mind, let's do a little Sonic action and run quickly through what we have covered. I know it was quite a lot. Let's look at time. Wow, almost an hour. So let's do it quickly. To your rebuild offer checklist. So name it clearly with memorable, premium positioned title. ChatGPT is your savior. Run your stuff, run your offer through. Make sure you have a nice stack of things that you offer, and then to extract from if you're doing other things. Frame the dream outcome. What's the real transformation they will experience? Talk about less stress, not having to worry, looking good in photos. This is the transformation. Build trust instantly with portfolio highlights, testimonials, and case studies. People buy what other people buy. If you can provide that somebody did work with you in the past, doesn't necessarily have to be the same type of photography, as long as it's close. So like when you took portraits of people, you're going to be working with people. That works. So so that's social proof. That's good enough. Show speed, communicate your turnaround time and preview process. Already at the very beginning when you're talking to somebody, just stay on top of it. They see that you're communicating quickly. Now they have the expectation. They know that you're most likely will do the same later. And then make it effortless. Explain your white glove, handled for you approach, right? Do it for your approach. It's not like they have to plan stuff for you. You'll be handling this, owning the process. That's what they want to hear. Add urgency through limited spots, timeframes, or expiring bonuses. And then include safety nets, guarantees, payment plans, and trial options presented like a no-brainer offer, because when you kind of follow this framework, it is no-brainer offer. So you can see how you have the stack, and then you have the bonuses, you have the guarantees, you have the naming and praise, you have the scarcity, you have the urgency, and that is really it. So when you create your packages, those are the things you have to include. And I think that was really it for today. That was the last slide. So we're actually good on time. I thought we were going to be going a little longer here, but I appreciate your time, guys. I know you are paying with time. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, leave comments under the video. I always put a PDF file with like everything I have talked about in this video. This way you can just print it out. It's usually the PDF, so you have the breakdown of what we have talked about. I don't include the slides, but you're gonna have the exact outline of what I have covered. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next Thursday at 12 o'clock. Bye.